I'm Tabitha Rock.
And I'm Sam Davenport.
Born and bred in Melbourne, we live and breathe property, and we know the Melbourne market like the back of our hand. We've both been buying and selling real estate in Metro Melbourne for over 2 decades combined, and we've learned a few lessons along the way.
All right, for the final episode of Season 3.
Season 3.
We're coming in with a case study.
Success study.
Success study. They're all success studies.
I hate the word case study, but I guess that's exactly what it is.
That's what I have written right in front of me.
What do you mean? We just wing all these episodes, don't we?
I just went with it.
No notes, just, right off the chest, the head, whatever.
Oh, I don't know.
Whatever it is. We've made it though. We hope you're enjoying. And actually, we should be telling people that if you've got anything you want us to chat about next season, please email us at hello@propculture.com.au because we would love suggestions on what you'd like us to talk about, what you'd like us to cover, any problems you're facing out there, or, any things you want to settle, dinner party conversations you want us to try and settle in relation to how it goes down in real estate. Let us know.
Any experts you want us to interview with your, burning questions?
We're hoping to get some maybe solicitors next season, maybe a family lawyer chat real estate.
Just for a real dry episode. Just throw it in there. Just make it dry.
We'll talk to fun people and engaging people.
Yeah.
But a building inspector maybe, that could be good.
Yes.
I don't know. But if you want us to chat about anything specific, holler at your girls.
Let us know.
What are we?
So what are we?
Ladies, gals. Anyway.
All of the above. All of the above. But I think the reason why we want to throw in these little success stories is because it can give, first of all, there's only, so many spectrums of clients that, client circumstances, client situations. And, you might hear one of these success stories and think, God, that sounds like me. That sounds exactly like my situation. And we can sort of just basically talk you through the process of exactly how we helped these people, where they started, what they went through and where they ended up. Mm-hmm. And it could resonate with you and you think that is what I need in my life. Mm-hmm. And so oftentimes, people I think now more so than ever before are starting to get a bit of an idea of exactly what advocates do and
see the value add.
And the value add and sort of, all of the different facets that we help people with through the process. But I think by just telling these stories from start to finish, it just gives people just a real overview of exactly what we do and how varying it can be from person to person.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because there's so many people I chat to and I'm like, they say, but I'm probably not who you work with because of X, Y, and Z.
We hear that a lot.
Yeah,
we just hear that a lot. I mean, this story we're going to go through today is, when people say name your ideal client, this is them for me. I just love dealing with, young families. I love dealing with a double-ended deal. And
no one knows what that means. It sounds like bad.
I'm about to tell.
Okay.
That was the joke.
Oh.
I'm about to tell them exactly what a double-ended deal is. Not what you think it is, but it is just this situation of, you've got this growing family. They've already had one. There might be a second on the way, or maybe there's already 2. One of them's usually a baby. Mm-hmm. We love to hold the babies through the opens. We just love them around. I just like to have a baby around.
Oh my gosh.
In the vicinity, So they're sitting in a house that's no longer fitting their needs. It has done its job. Oftentimes they've been in it for 5, 7, 8 years. Mm-hmm. They've loved it. They have, they've built a community around them in that area. They're tied to the area. Oftentimes they're either in school, primary school, or about to start that process. Ideally, we catch them just before they start that process. So we've got a little more flexibility on the location. But certainly that sort of life stage of growing, building, happy, comfortable where you are. Do you have to move tomorrow? No. Do you have a time pressure of needing to move? No. Do we almost always exclusively guide them into purchasing first and then selling their property? Depends.
Really depends.
Really depends on their
Oh,
circumstances.
yeah. And I think we should probably cover that in an episode because it's totally down to the client's risk appetite and financial situation.
And the property in which they currently own. So that's where like our first stage of the process with these types of people is to sit down with them and work out how is this going to look holistically, and holistically meaning including the two transactions.
Selling and the buying.
The selling and the buying, which one's happening first. And we ask them 101 questions to help them work out which one's going first. So it's dependent on, their circumstances, property type, their financial position, lots of different things. I mean, two examples recently, one in which we purchased first and the other in which we're selling first. And they're both in the same family scenario. So it really does depend on their circumstances, but we help them work that out.
This situation, we're covering so much with clients at the moment because it's confusing the buy and the sell, and the agent who's helping them sell doesn't think about their life, whereas that's exactly what we do and why people are finding it so valuable to get us involved in both sides.
Exactly. Like understand, if you are selling first, do not sell on a 60-day settlement, that's for sure. And you will get asked for that settlement. The agent will say to you, there's a buyer who's asking for 60 days. Can you do it? Can we approve this one buyer? No, just no. Hold firm. I would doubt you would lose that buyer over 30 days. 90 days for you to be able to purchase and settle within the right time frame, so you're only doing one move, is much more achievable than a 60-day settlement. And for the buyer, 60 versus 90 should be fine. Should be fine. Unless, of course, they've also sold.
And
but make them do a double move.
Domino situation.
Yeah, exactly. But, sitting in that position of being in a house and a position and a location that you love, but that's just too small for you, and these people are keeping an eye on the market, have been for 2 years. What does that mean? Are you physically inspecting everything?
They're propping up realestate.com.
They are scrolling every night of their life. They oftentimes will look at a very open-ended price range. So they're sort of looking at just dream homes, not realistic search parameters. So they're just looking at anything and everything, which to think you're keeping an eye on the market when that's what you're doing, we would say you haven't started your search yet.
Totally.
So obviously when we get involved, we sort of work out the scope, exactly what does the next house need to look like, and we will not compromise on accommodation needs with these types of buyers because that's the reason for the move.
100%.
So we stick really clear on accommodation needs, and maybe location comes second to accommodation because they're in their dream location oftentimes currently, but their accommodation needs aren't meeting the family needs anymore. So working out exactly what the next house looks like and actually setting the scope for the search and starting the search properly.
Yeah.
So
getting examples, making sure that it exists, and if it doesn't in the area that they're sort of looking at, okay, would you consider this one that's just down the road or this one that's just down the road, which is still an A-grade suburb, still got great access to transport and all the rest of it, but is maybe a little bit further out than they thought, or in a little bit different of a location.
Exactly. And then, like you say, using recently sold property examples and showing them, saying, look at this, like how, and then oftentimes they look at it and they think, geez, yeah, that's perfect. That's ideal. And that's what you want to hear. Then, okay, we're on the right track. So setting that scope, understanding what's going to happen, what am I saying? The train? No. What comes first?
Oh,
what
the
am
process.
I saying? The process, yeah. Well, the
buy-sell.
The timing of the process, and then working out exactly what we're looking to buy and deciding or knowing for sure that exists. And oftentimes they can also feel like there's just not enough choice.
Yeah. So
in our search phase, obviously, we not only have access to everything on market, but we're also bringing to the table a lot of off-market property. And particularly in, for these buyers in their search area, a lot of the family homes are offered off-market prior to going to market for lots of reasons. Some of those reasons can be that those sellers are also looking at what's on the market. You know, they're sort of not sure.
One
Do
foot in,
they
one
buy
foot out.
first? Do they sell first? They know they want to move, but only if they find the right one or if they get the right price. You know, there's a lot of different reasons why it happens, but a lot of these family homes are transacted or at least offered off market.
But I think with like the whole scrolling for the 2 years, like it just feels like a long search phase. So you just sort of almost over it before you've even started inspecting. So I think what you've helped these clients to do is just accelerate the process for them and make it happen in a more timely period, which makes the whole thing. I mean, how long was it till you bought for these clients?
Like 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really quick. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was fast. But it was a matter of just, obviously finding the right one and then
Pouncing.
buying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, feeling those sort of challenges for these people in this time period is like feeling bogged down in the decision making of what to do, feeling like there's not enough choice, feeling like they can't afford what they want. And why do they feel that way? Because they had these open-ended searches. They were keeping an eye on the market, looking at property that was never going to be within the budget. So now they get this, inspection fatigue or just fatigue in the process in general because they have been looking at unsuitable options for 24 months. Sorry to tell you, but you've just wasted your time.
Oh, yeah, and your mental capacity for this process.
And now we need to get serious.
Yeah, I don't know whether these guys felt this, but I've dealt with a lot of clients that have done this, but they have actually gone out to a lot of inspections and they're just not wanting to speak to another agent. Like they are like, they don't hate on agents. Some clients hate on agents, but they're just like, oh, I want a buffer. I never want to speak to them again. Like some I like, some I don't like, some are trustworthy, some are not trustworthy. Like, but just can you be the buffer?
They just want to streamline the communication process. So if you, for example, and 9 times out of 10 in these scenarios with this type of client, we're dealing with double income children. So we've got working parents, both working parents, both work either one full-time, one part-time, or both full-time, one or multiple children. These people have very little spare time.
Oh, there's two-year-old birthday parties to attend on a Saturday morning, Sam.
Exactly. And that's the thing is that inspections are run midweek during the day or if you're lucky 5 p.m. and then on a Saturday. And if you don't have availability to get to these inspections, the campaign passes you by and it's another missed opportunity. Obviously, what we do is we get serious about the search. We streamline the process for you. We streamline the communications. You're only needing to speak to us about any given property in any given suburb. You're not needing to speak to so-and-so from Bell Properties, so-and-so from Big & Scott, so-and-so from Marshall White. You just speak to Sam from Prop Culture, you know, and you've got access to all of the property information you need.
So you've got access to all the agents without chatting to the agents.
Oh, you need a private inspection on a Thursday, 11 a.m. No worries, you know.
We'll get it done.
And I've also pre-inspected that for you and here's a walkthrough inspection video with all of my thoughts and all of the negatives listed and all of the positives listed and proving to it fit to brief and proving to it will be under budget. Now let's inspect the property.
Yeah.
So you're only inspecting suitable options.
Because how many did these guys inspect?
We looked at I like to look at, for this type of thing where you're going to be buying a home for at least the next 10 years, you want to have a look at least 10 properties. Which is going to give you the spectrum of what's available. And that's what we talk about when we go through them. We say like, this is a classic example of like a freestanding, beautiful period home that was renovated in 1992. So everything's in the right position, the floor plan's right, but it's dated throughout. What do you think about this? And you can easily live here very comfortably for the next 5 years and then do a reno. What does that look like on budget? And then we look at alternative options. And then when we're able to sort of find one that they love, if we do happen to find one they love in those 10, then of course we pounce on it. But sometimes we don't. Sometimes we keep going.
Were these guys open to works?
Interestingly, one of them was not.
Okay. I feel like that's actually quite common. Yeah.
So we are full-time property advocates, part-time relationship counsellors. And
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and we need to help couples come to agreements, bridge gaps. We bridge gaps. And we, you know, we are neutral in those conversations, but if there's one of them who needs to be shown the alternate, you know, thought process, and that maybe is the more reasonable way to consider things, we'll just guide them into that.
Yeah.
Like we guide people into a lot of different things, you know.
Because when you went through those 10 properties, were they the spectrum of like don't need anything done to like need quite a bit of like cosmetic works, and so you saw
always that, just because people will say to you, and again with these types of families whereby they've got 2 jobs, 2 children, for them to now find time to deal with structural works,
it's a lot.
It's a lot, you know, and it's realistically it's not the right purchase for them.
Yeah.
Unless one of them is a builder, one of them's an interior designer, or their absolute desire is to renovate again.
Yeah. Or I think if they really need this property to like jumpstart their property, like to get them into that ideal home, so they need to make quite a bit of money in this one. I think people oftentimes do need to consider renos, because you can make some good money in manufacturing your own growth in your real estate. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about clients I bought for, and I was like, you know, I think this is a great option for you. It will be a bit painful doing the reno, but you're going to make a big chunk of money that's going to get you back, you know, in inner city in your ideal location.
Yeah. Well, this client profile often they've come from that already.
Yeah.
So they've done that. You know, they've sort of bought the unrenovated property, they've updated, they've renovated, they've seen really strong capital growth. They've continued to thrive in their personal lives, which is why they're now in this position to be able to upgrade and buy this fantastic family home.
So they want a bit more of a set and forget house for the next one.
Yeah. And they're just at capacity already in their lives. You know, they're just already at capacity. So again, those options, that's why we love showing as an so things with structural works needed, I'll rarely even go through. Yeah. Like it's just not the right time in their lives to buy a property like that. In this client profile. Yeah. But what I will go through with them is those 90s renovated ones, and talk about the fact that look how big, you know, spacious, comfortable, livable, all of the, you know, the floor plan's right. It can be done in stages. You can do one bathroom, not the other, you know. Yeah. And everything is absolutely neat and fine. Yeah. But it's just an aesthetic, preference. Those are the ones that we always would consider for that type of, you know, need if they want to gain capital growth.
Because I think they're great to consider also, because there's a lot of young professional couples that aren't considering them because it's perceived as too much work or daggy or dated, and they just don't want to be involved in that, when in fact it can take sort of a month post-settlement to jazz it up and – you know, new carpets and blinds is sort of where I'm talking.
Yeah, new carpets and blinds and paint. Yeah, that'll do trick. Get you another 5 years out of it, and which it really does, you know. But being able to, you know, help them obviously secure the home that they want, move on with their life.
Because what was the process in which you secured that?
Yeah, so that one was on for an auction campaign, as most of them are, if they're not offered to us off market. Yeah. And yeah, it was, you know, conservatively quoted, let's just say that.
There's a lot of agents in that area. Are we saying the area that you bought in?
Yeah.
Was it around Ormond, Caulfield type area?
Yeah. It was in Ormond. Yeah. In Ormond in the end. But yeah, the agents sort of operate in that sort of Bentley area, Caulfield South-ish pocket. But yeah, I mean, look, the property had actually been offered to us off market the year before. So we knew what the vendor's reserve was.
Yeah, interesting.
You know, which is just another little 1%er, you know. Yeah. It just, we know what's going on. We're operating in these areas every day of the week. Mm-hmm. And so we knew exactly what the vendor wanted, and it wasn't within the quote range. So, you know, after seeing, we went there multiple times, and this is again the type of clientele who we do multi-inspections of these properties.
You have to, spending a lot of money.
Well, that, but also you're spending a lot of time, like they're going to be in there for probably 10 to 15 years, maybe much longer. Mm-hmm. You know, that the one that we ended up buying was within their ideal high school zone. So their kids had just started, one had only just started prep. So we're potentially looking at a 20-year property here. So you need to make sure you absolutely bloody love it.
Yeah.
And that it passes all of the due diligence checks, you know, so that we're not.
Yeah. You might like it and then it falls down building inspection.
Exactly.
Always away.
Yeah. So understanding the absolute detail about the property, picking a budget in discussions together, you know, helping guide you into something that, particularly considering what the quote range was, might have seemed uncomfortable, not reasonable, but proving that with absolute data and saying, I know exactly what I'm saying.
This is the mathematical.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. I once had a client consult and they're like, well, you know, you only get paid when I purchase. Like, then don't you just sort of like tell me a price to pay that will secure me the property? I'm like, no. You're an intelligent person. That's why you're sitting in front of me. I give you the information. You choose the budget. Like, it's your money. So,
but
you know.
also that's also assuming that we're just in this for transactional reasons, you know, like neither of us are. And, you know, to someone that you don't know, how to prove to them that you're a trustworthy person.
Yeah.
I don't bloody know.
Yeah.
I mean, we seem to do it time and time again.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, our best interest is our clients. We need every single person we work with to lead us to the next client. And I'll tell you, these clients have led me to my next 3 clients. So they're very happy with the process.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, exactly what we say to you is going to happen is exactly what happens. And so that gives them the proof that they needed. So yes, initially, I mean, it's sort of taking a leap of faith with us the first time round if you really have no history in conversations or negotiations with us to base your decision making off. That first one can be a bit of a leap of faith. But after that, you then see that literally what we told you was going to happen happens.
Yeah. Because often the quote range is the 3 to 3.3 and then it sells for 3.55.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and we're sort of saying, well, based on comps, it's likely to go sort of 2.4 to 2.5. And if it's got strong competition and this is a gorgeous home, so you'll get emotional buyers, they might pay in excess of 3.5. And that's your decision. That's all the information. Now come back to us with sort of budget that you want to set for this one.
And, you know, relationships with the agents is another key. You know, for them, these buyers are buying these properties and they're not selling them for another 15, 20 years. So their transaction time with one client, one buyer is very low, whereas with us, it's a high transaction turnover. So they're going to see me next week, next month, the month after, the month after.
Yeah, they want to build that relationship with you.
And we do, and we have strong relationships.
Because this, I think
we got looked after.
Yeah.
We got looked after, you know, in a reasonable fashion.
Not in a anti-competition sense.
No, there was still competition. There was totally still competition.
Because you went to boardroom. What was give us the play-by-play of how this, so was planned to go to auction. We want to hear what happened.
It was an auction campaign and with the conservative quote range and the wow factor of the property, you know, big thumping, renovated Edwardian, beautiful.
What was
just
in the backyard?
What we're looking for. Swimming pool.
Delish.
Raised to catch the afternoon sun. Like, it was just really amazing. Jack and Jill, kids' bedrooms upstairs, like matching with the matching walk-in. It was just, it was really, it was a perfect family home in the McKinnon High School zone, which is what everyone's looking for in that area. You know, it means that you can buy the property that suits the young family and into the teenage years. So you're eliminating the transaction midway through. There's a lot of reasons why those houses have competition, and it had competition, that's for sure. And we weren't going to have a crazy budget for it. And so I wanted to chop it down at its knees as best I could.
Love that expression for an auction campaign. Chop it at its knees.
I needed to do something to sort of stop the momentum because the momentum was building. Every time we went there, like we went there 3 times, and every time we went there, there was people we'd seen last time. There was, you know, now we've got 10 second inspections. Now we've got 4 third inspections, you know, multiple building inspections happening. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I just want to eliminate the fight as best I can because it's the sort of property that, because of the longevity of ownership, people don't mind spending an extra $150 on it, which can just take it out of budget now. Because even at, you know, higher levels, people are still working with ideal budgets and repayments and, you know, lifestyles they want to keep up and things like that. Anyway, so submitted a pre-auction offer, much to the absolute dismay of the agents. They just were so mortified,
90%
horrified,
of the time, hate the pre-auction offer.
Because the thing about an auction for agents is that it's all over and done within 45 minutes. Like it is done, it is unconditional. They don't have to make a call. Nothing happens for them in that process. They just sign contracts and the auctioneer takes the bids. But in a pre-auction scenario, they receive an offer, they have to legally present it to the vendor. We always make offers that speak over the agent to the vendor direct. So with their ideal settlement terms, with their ideal price point, you know, which we knew obviously because it was offered to us off market the year prior. All of these things get put into play. All the intel. Just, you know, gathering intel. I was going to do an analogy like a little mouse with nuts.
Right,
but then
okay.
It wasn't worth it.
You love an analogy, I've decided.
It just really makes me understand life.
Yeah.
In a more like logical sense.
Feel free to pepper them throughout the seasons. I really enjoy them.
Anyway, obviously offer spoke to the vendor accepted. So now the agent has to do a lot of running around. And we know, we used to do it. We're selling agents too. You know, I get it's a bloody pain, but it's what we as buying agents need to sometimes do for our clients to secure it.
Yeah, it's in the best interest of our clients sometimes.
And that's who they're acting for. You know, so anyway, ruffles a few feathers, but it's all fun and games. You know, we're all good friends in the end. Anyway, there was competition, as we knew there would be, full disclosure, back and forth. We, having had these long-term relationships with these agents, I do feel we get more guidance and intel. And in the end, we bought the property by a very, very minute amount. And the other buyer who was got given a chance for best and final. We got given first right of refusal.
Yeah, so perfect.
Yeah, and that was because we started the process and because I sort of made sure that was going to be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I know. So snagged it.
What a win.
Yes, such a win. And like these guys, super clever, these clients that I was dealing with. They
often are. I mean, they're engaging, they're outsourcing professionals.
To the professionals.
They know what's up.
They know. They know about focusing on their field and doing doing what they do best and leaving the rest to the other experts. And so, yeah, I mean, they obviously, having seen it all play out, I mean, look, you're not eliminating the emotional trauma that occurs in that process versus bidding on auction day. It's sort of almost worse in a way sometimes.
Because it takes a little longer.
It takes longer, exactly. So oftentimes you have to wait 6 hours or maybe overnight to get a real final answer. But they were just on the phone to me. We could have never done that without you. We would have never bought it for that price. We could have never and would never have thought to make that decision to do that or known how to navigate it if we did.
I think that's key because a lot of people want to make pre-auction offers. They just don't even know where to start, if they should, what to say, how to do it, what will the agent do. And, yeah, your expertise in that area is like next level. Next level.
What have we got?
Happy clients, happy
Sam
life.
and Tabitha.
Yeah.
Happy pop culture.
Exactly. Now, on to our favourite segment, F, Marry, Kill. I'm giving you...
Go on then.
The pool. The beautiful pool.
Does a pool boy come with the pool?
Does not.
Oh.
The pool toys can come with the pool. A few floaties. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Like
about
I'll give you a pineapple to blow up and put in the pool to lie on.
Yeah. A lilo.
Tennis court. Or the established country gardens. What are you doing?
Controversial, but I will marry the established country garden.
Oh.
Every day. I know what it goes into making that happen. And it is decades of planning and perfectionism, and you just can't replicate it. I can build your pool, though, next week.
Yeah.
So I'll F the pool.
Right,
and
okay.
who uses a tennis court these days? What a waste of space. Build a townhouse and sell it.
Oh,
Oh dear, I feel like we're having differing answers finally on one of
Good.
these.
Oh.
But I'm trying to do the calculations of what's going to cost more. Like the pool's $100,000. How much is this established country garden? But that does take time, so I kind of know where you're coming from. Although I'm a water baby, I'm marrying the pool all day, every day. It's going to be heated, so I'll be able to use it all year round before you haters come at me with we're in Melbourne. You can utilise that about 2 months of the year.
Yeah.
And I'll probably F the tennis court just because I wanna
Killing
play
the garden.
I wanna play tennis. I want it front and centre so I'm like attracted to engage with it. You know, and
Okay.
I want to get better at it.
Oh.
Yeah. But you know what? An option that wasn't on the list there is I just love like this whole spa setup. Like I want an infrared sauna. I want a
Yeah.
cold plunge pool. I want that sort of environment.
You're about to get that, aren't you?
Hopefully. Manifesting it, girl. Anyway, that takes us to the end of our final episode of season 2.
Yeah. Well done.
I know. That was a tongue twister. We've loved
Stick
it.
around for season 4. Season 4, we've got more guests coming on.
We do.
We're going to be doing consumer-led topics.
Consumer-led topics. Zinger. Love that. And yeah, come at us with your feedback. We love it.
Yeah.
Ideally positive, but
Positive
constructive
if
criticism.
you can. You just keep, please.
Yeah.
We just,
The ego and the like.
we're tough, but I can't take it. I actually can't.
Okay, see you next season.
Bye.